better for you than going to a bakery.
Interesting. Just because you brought it up, and I think people would be mad if I didn't ask it, because since you brought it up, you said if there's still cravings, there's something we can do. There's something more we have to correct to discourage the cravings from occurring. What is that typically? Is it some sort of mineral deficiency, or what do you think that might be?
Often. So first of all, I have to understand we are hardwired to chase something called dopamine. So dopamine is what drives our behavior as humans. So the two behaviors that the survival of the human species is predicated on is procreation and eating. And both of those behaviors release dopamine into the mesolimbic pathway of our brain. And that's what makes us get up out of a nice warm cave and go hunting the woolly mammoth in cold environs. Because we know when we eat, we get this dopamine release, and it's a feed-forward cycle. So anything that leads to a depression of the natural dopamine level in your body and your brain is going to increase that desire you have to chase dopamine. And the simple fact is the easiest way for us to get dopamine in our modern world is by eating crap food. Go down, get a pack of chocolate cookies or what have you. These foods that have been crafted by these scientists for what we call the bliss point to maximize the release of dopamine, they're genuinely addictive. And if you've got low dopamine levels, then you will actually have that desire. You can't fight it. So just because putting something in your mouth is a volitional action, we think that eating is entirely under our voluntary control, and that's just nonsense. It's, in some ways, it's no more volitional than is breathing. Sure, we can control our breathing. You can stop breathing for a period of time, but sooner or later, you'll cave in. And if you've got a dopamine deficiency, when you're eating junky foods, you're just self-medicating for a neurotransmitter deficiency. And let's have a look at some of the factors that could lead to a dopamine deficiency. So nutrient deficiency. Any female out there who's ever had iron deficiency, iron is one of the factors, the cofactors involved in neurotransmitter synthesis, what we call the catecholaminergic neurotransmitters, so dopamine, serotonin, noradrenaline. B12 is the same. Zinc is the same. So if we've got any potential deficiency like that, then it's likely that we're also going to be deficient in neurotransmitters. And they did an elegant study in people with celiac disease where they actually sampled the fluid around their brain, what we call the cerebrospinal fluid, and they looked at the level of dopamine metabolite, basically how much dopamine was being produced and was accessible to their brain. And they found that when these people were on a gluten-containing diet, their level of dopamine fell, and when they took the gluten out of their diet, their dopamine levels came back up.